Fibroids. All the research I've been doing, I've been finding that chicken and sugar are tied to fibroids. Don't fight me. Don't fight me, but it is. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angel and I'm back with another video. I know you guys saw the title, so you already know what's up. Now, originally I was not going to do a video documenting my fibroid journey, but since I've been posting on social media about my surgery, I've been getting a lot of DMs about fibroids. What are fibroids? What are they caused from? How did I know that I had them? What type of surgery did I get? And I've gotten a couple requests as well to film a video about this. So as requested, here's the video. So yes, fibroids. This experience and this journey has definitely opened my eyes up to the fact that there are so many people, so many women that are unaware of fibroids, that have some of the symptoms but never knew to get checked for them, never was told that they may have fibroids, all of that. So I'm coming today with a video about my personal journey, the things that I have gone through. I do want to preface this video by saying that I'm not a doctor, but I have done tons of research about fibroids and I've gone through this myself. So everything mentioned in this video you can definitely Google and fact check and all that to form your own understanding. So let's go ahead and get started. The first question is, what made me get checked for fibroids, or how did I know I may have them? So the number one indication for me was my cycles. They began to get really prolonged. They went from about 4 days to 7 days, some months 8 days, and they began to get really heavy. I was passing blood clots during my cycles and I knew that was not normal for me. I was also experiencing pelvic pain, increased pain when I was on my cycles, and another indicator for me is that my stomach was starting to look like I was pregnant. And I knew I wasn't pregnant. So I'm like, something's not right internally. We got to figure out what's going on. Initially, I had an ultrasound done maybe a couple years ago. And that doctor told me that I had a small fibroid. Oh, there's nothing to do for it. And so I had questions, what causes these fibroids? Is it cancerous? Is this something I need to be worried about? And she just pretty much brushed it off. Oh, it's nothing to do for it, just check on it. And I was like, okay. So at that point I started doing my own research, and that's when I became knowledgeable about the fibroids and realized that there's other women in my family that experienced this as well. So that really made me interested in, okay, like, what's going on? Also too, I want to state that if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, advocate for yourself. If you're not feeling right, something's not right, advocate for yourself, because a lot of these doctors, they're just going to brush it off like they did me. And here I am 2 years later in this position. But that's neither here nor there. We're going to get to that. The next question I got was, what are fibroids? So fibroids are non-cancerous tumors. They grow inside your uterus wall. You may have 1, 2, a few. They can be small, they can be big. They definitely do grow. Hence my experience. But they grow inside the uterus. So I find that fibroids are most commonly found in African American women that are of childbearing age. So your 20s to your 40s, give or take, early 40s. Those are the people with the most risk. Next question I got is, what causes fibroids? So this is very controversial, and the main cause or exact cause is unknown. But all the research I've been doing, I've been finding that chicken and sugar are tied to fibroids. Don't fight me. Don't fight me, but it is. Also genetics too. I find that ties into the eating habits. For me, I don't eat pork, or I will seldom eat pork. I may eat bacon, some beef, but the main things I would eat would be fish or chicken, like seafood or chicken. And so I felt like that was healthier than the other types of meat. But as I'm doing my research, chicken is pumped with so many hormones, estrogen, and our body already contains estrogen and progesterone. So it's like you're getting an overload of hormones in your body, which in result causes the fibroids. Now again, it's said that they don't really know the exact cause of fibroids, but the research I've been doing is tied to your eating habits and genetics. But the genetics goes back to eating habits, the way that you grew up eating and the way you carried that into your adulthood. So I feel like all that plays hand in hand. So think about that. Are you someone that eats a lot of sugars too? Are you someone that eats a lot of sugars or a lot of chicken or meat that are pumped with hormones? That can definitely cause the fibroids. They're not telling us that, but look into it. Do your own research. Be your own advocate. Check into it and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the next question I keep getting is fibroids genetic? And that goes back to my last statement. So typically, and in my case, in my journey, my personal journey, my sister experienced fibroids. My mom, no, but my sister did. And so genetics, you think about that, it runs in the family in a sense. But we were also eating the same. So just think about that. Like I said, the eating habits and the genetics portion of the cause for the fibroids run hand in hand. So the next question is, what are the symptoms of fibroids? So that goes back to, I mentioned in my previous statement about my personal experience and what made me get checked out. But typically the symptoms, and these do vary from person to person, the heavy bleeding, painful cycles, prolonged cycles, passing blood clots, the extended stomach looking like you're pregnant. Those are some of the key factors in a person that may have fibroids. So if you're experiencing any of those symptoms, definitely do get checked out. This goes into my next question is, how do I get checked out for fibroids? So in my case, I had an ultrasound done early on. And then when my symptoms started to progress a couple of years later, I was ordered to get an MRI. So you can do an ultrasound, a CT scan, or an MRI of your abdomen and pelvis. And this just lets the doctor actually get an image of the size of your fibroids, how many you may have, all that good stuff. So for me, when I had my MRI done, it was determined that my uterus was the size of a 6-month pregnancy. 6-month pregnancy. So I was looking like I was 6 months pregnant, y'all. What? Anyway, so that was determined. It also was determined that I had 5 fibroids. One of them was really, really big, about 15 centimeters or so. And the other varied in sizes, which were a little bit smaller. So yeah, definitely get checked out. Blood work does not determine if you have fibroids or not. The only thing the blood work will determine is for whatever test they're checking for. And if it's related to the fibroids, it's typically to see if you're anemic. So yeah. The next question I received was, can fibroids shrink? Now I have read some articles about women doing different things to help shrink their fibroids, or taking different medications to try to shrink them, or alleviate the symptoms that they were having due to the fibroids. Now me personally, I have not experienced the case where I was able to shrink my fibroids, nor did I try to. At the point where I was getting my things done, I had my MRI, my appointments with the doctor, I was already severely anemic. At that point, shrinking the fibroids was beyond me. I needed to just go ahead and do what needed to be done, hence my surgery. So another question I got is about the different types of surgeries to remove the fibroids. So there are a few options that are available to you, which will be determined based on if you desire to have children in the future, different things like that. If you don't, then they probably will offer you a hysterectomy, which is just a full removal of the uterus, and you may or may not remove your fallopian tubes and your ovaries. You can also do a myomectomy, which I personally had an abdominal myomectomy, which is an incision like a bikini cut or like a C-section incision, and they go in through that incision to remove the fibroids. You can also do that laparoscopically. Mine were too big to be done laparoscopically, but if you have fibroids that are on the smaller side, the laparoscopic myomectomy is where they just make incisions near your navel, go in with the robot and do it that way. Another option is a uterine artery embolization, which is basically where they cut off the supply to your fibroids, which will basically make them necrotic and die. So that's another option. But there are several different options for fibroid removal. Just do your research, determine if you're someone that wants to maybe have more kids or a kid in the future, different things like that. So the next question I received was about fibroids in pregnancy. Like, do they prevent you from getting pregnant? So they can prevent you from getting pregnant. Again, fibroids are grown inside the uterus wall or the uterus lining. And the uterus is where you home your baby for 9 to 10 months. If you have fibroids that are on the larger side, then they may hinder you from carrying a baby or getting pregnant. I have done research and determined that once you do have your fibroids removed, your fertility will increase because there's nothing hindering anything from growing inside the uterus. It's free and clear of any of those monsters. That's what I call fibroids, monsters. So yes, so be mindful of that as well. But just because you have fibroids, that does not mean that you can't get pregnant, and that does not mean that you cannot carry a baby to full term. That is completely false. You definitely can. So you'll just be monitored more closely because the fibroids will continue to grow as the pregnancy progresses. So that's just one thing, but you definitely can carry a baby and get pregnant. It's just the chances are a little slimmer. So if you're someone that experiences infertility and you have fibroids, then having your fibroids removed is definitely something to consider. And the next question I received is, can fibroids turn into cancer? Again, fibroids are non-cancerous tumors. So them developing into cancer is not impossible, but it is rare. I believe the research I found was maybe 1 in 1,000 women will develop cancer. And it's unclear if it's directly due to the fibroids. So just keep that in mind. The next question I received is, what do fibroids do to the body? Do they hurt? Yes. They cause your cycles to become painful, heavier, and prolonged. And when you're having all that bleeding, end result, you're going to get anemic. So you'll need to start taking iron pills. In my case, I had to take iron pills. And then I had to get iron infusions. So yes, they definitely affect your blood levels. They affect your pain levels. They affect your stomach, looking like you're pregnant. So those are just some of the things that fibroids do to the body. All right, guys, so that's it. Those are the main questions I've been receiving about my fibroids. I wanted to make this video, 1, because it was requested, and 2, because all the questions made me realize that there were women out there that were unaware of fibroids, what to expect, what to get checked on. So I wanted to bring awareness to that. I do hope that this video helps someone, and I hope that it brings awareness to women that are out there suffering from fibroids, because it's not normal what we're going through, and you deserve to feel better. So definitely advocate for yourself. Go get checked out if you've experienced anything that I mentioned henceforth. This video was specifically about my fibroid journey and things that I've gone through, as well as to get me to this point, as well as to answer the questions I've been receiving on social media. So in the next video, I will include all of the information regarding my surgery, the type of surgery I had done, how long I stayed in the hospital, the preparation for the surgery, my experience, my incision. I will also include a picture of the fibroids they removed if you guys want to see that. So let me know. So definitely stay tuned for my next video regarding my surgery and any post-operative information that I have as well. If you found this video helpful, definitely be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below with any questions or concerns that you may have. Definitely be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell so that you do not miss another video. I do upload weekly here on this channel, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.